At the 94th Academy Awards ceremony in 2022, actor Will Smith slapped actor and comedian Chris Rock live on stage in response to a joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. With the 95th Academy Awards taking place this weekend and a stand-up special continuing to gain views on the streaming service, the incident is once again in the public eye. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at Will Smith reacts to Chris Rock calling him a bitch in his Netflix special. Yeah, you heard it right. What happened? Sources say Smith was embarrassed and hurt by the jokes Rock made on the March 4th Netflix comedy special. Will is embarrassed and hurt by what Chris said about him and his family in his Netflix special. A source told Entertainment Tonight. He didn't watch it, but he had people tell him what Chris said. According to the source, both Smith and Pinkett Smith have viewed the special's comments, as reported by the New York Post. Will apologized to Chris and would like for Chris to let it go, the source said, adding that Smith considers airing the special from Rock featuring jokes about the event as distasteful. The 95th Academy Awards are scheduled to telecast on ABC on March 12th. The award presentation has implemented many preventative measures to prevent another stage smack. An emergency response team has been added to the event. Smith will either watch from home or not at all, as he is currently prohibited from attending the annual award presentation for the next decade. Jimmy Kimmel, the host of the show, stated that he would beat the crap out of anyone who disrupts the program. Go on. Will Smith responded to Chris Rock's comedy special, Selective Outrage. The comedian spoke for the first time in great detail about the Oscars slap of 2022, which will live on in infamy. The altercation between Will and Chris occurred live on March 27th, 2022, at the 94th Annual Academy Awards ceremony, when the Saturday Night Live veteran made an offensive remark about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Jada, I love you, G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see ya. Rock said in part, making a comparison between Jada's shaved head and actress Demi Moore's buzz cut in the 1997 movie G.I. Jane. Jada's gone public with her years-long battle with alopecia, an autoimmune illness that damages hair follicles and can cause hair loss and baldness. She was plainly offended by Chris's remark and rolled her eyes as he justified the humor. Then, Will stepped onto stage and struck the comedian. Although the live show rapidly began to suppress the conversation between Will and Chris, overseas broadcasts of uncensored material exposed what the actors actually said. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me, Chris said in disbelief. Will could be heard demanding from a distance, telling the comic not to speak about Jada. Keep my wife's name out your effing mouth, he screamed twice. Despite the King Richard actor's public apology, the two remain estranged, and Chris revealed the drama in his new Netflix special. What response did Will Smith have to Chris Rock's Selective Outrage? According to multiple reports, not particularly well. Will is embarrassed and hurt by what Chris said about him and his family in his Netflix special. He didn't watch it, but he had people tell him what Chris said. A source told ET. Will and Jada have seen comments about it on the internet and in social media since it's quite ubiquitous. Will apologized to Chris and would like for Chris to let it go, the source added. Will has worked on himself and the Oscars have banned him for 10 years. He believes that this is sufficient and wants Chris to move on so that he and everyone else may do the same. Will is also furious that Netflix was involved and finds Chris's repeated insults to Jada to be under the belt. He finds it offensive that Netflix has provided Chris with a platform to spread these beliefs. Although he felt bad for so long about slapping Chris at the Oscars, the actor from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air still has plenty to say. He attempted to make amends with Chris as best as he could, but failed. Throughout his performance, Chris made jokes about the smack by stating, "Words hurt." Anybody who says that words hurt has never been punched in the face. Will was referred to as Suge Smith as a reference to the incarcerated Death Row Records CEO, Suge Knight, who was sentenced to 28 years in prison for manslaughter in 2018. The 2020 episode of Red Table Talk, on which his wife's affair with musician Alsina was discussed, prompted Rock's fury. She hurt him way more than he hurt me, Rock said. Whom did he hit? He knew he could beat me, a guy? That is some bitch ass shit. He continued. Will Smith is significantly bigger than me. Will Smith does movies with his shirt off. You've never seen me do movies with my shirt off. If I'm in a movie getting open heart surgery, I've got on a sweater, Chris said. In a film, Will Smith portrayed Muhammad Ali. You believe I auditioned for this role? I had the role of Pookie in New Jack City. Now I watch Emancipation just to see him get beaten up, he said, referring to Will's role as Slave Peter during the Emancipation Proclamation period. He concluded his part with a question that he was repeatedly asked. Chris, how come you didn't do nothing back that night? Because I have parents and was raised, he stated. What did my parents tell me? Do not engage in conflict in front of white people. After the Netflix special, Chris was ready to move on, according to The Insider. He spoke everything he intended to say, according to the source. It was humorous, self-effacing, and thought-provoking. According to a second source, Will relies on his family for support. Family is important to him, and he depended on them following the incident, according to the source. It helped him examine himself and mature. He has improved, but is still repentant. Will listened to people who sought to help him and believes that he has become a better person as a result. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so that you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next video.